Hey everyone, it's Gal again. Tonight we will be discussing jealousy and lies. So, Matt, he was a very jealous person in the sense that he didn't like that, well, he felt that I had more opportunities than him. So, in high school, I was a big musical geek and loved to sing. And a lot of anything I did revolved around singing. I did the musicals, I tried to do the plays when I had the opportunity, and that was my thing. And it wasn't his, but he was jealous. And it's kind of like you look back and you think, you're a grown person, and you look back and you think, wow, I wish I would have done more. But instead of going, maybe I should do more as an adult, he took that anger out on me. Funny thing, I actually went to one of my best friend's house. Her name is Jenny, amazing vocalist, music teacher, and teaches 3-year-olds. God bless her, by the way. Teachers, you guys are amazing. You guys have the patience of a saint. You guys are underglorified, underpaid, and you are teaching my 2 children who I can't stand to be with more than 8 hours sometimes. And here you are, you're doing it with 28 to 30 little people who have 40 different personalities in them throughout the day, and you're doing that times 38. So you're amazing. But I was at Jenny's house, and we were looking at the school yearbooks, and I was just like, oh my god, I remember this. This was the most fun musical we ever did, and I remember that, and I remember this, and curiosity killed the cat. I went and I looked to see if there were any photos of Matt in anything, and there were hardly any photos. He was pretty much invisible, and that was by his own design. I see a lot of pictures of me and my best friend Gal, who's also my cousin, and we're in musicals, and there's this one musical called Pirates of Penzance, and she's dressed like a guy and she looks just like her brothers. Hilarious. And then there's me and Lloyd and me and Kevin and me and Jimmy, and there's a whole bunch of us, time of our lives. We didn't go to college, so high school is like our college. It was amazing. But I kept thinking and I kept looking back, and I'm just like, wow, he really didn't do anything. And he was so angry about that. Growing up, it's really hard to say, but when we were in the relationship, the fact that he was a Caucasian male, a white male, he thought that he was doing me a favor by dating me because I was an Asian person. He thought he was doing his best friend, who was a black guy, one of his best friends. And he's like, well, I'm doing him a favor and I'm uplifting him because he's a black guy and he needs me to help him. And I have the resources, so why wouldn't I help him? And it was always about him. And he was jealous about everything. I mean, I couldn't read a book while he was playing video games because that meant that I wasn't spending quality time with him. Why couldn't I read a book while you were playing video games? You're not even paying attention to me. I should just sit there and watch you play. Yes, because in his mind, I was giving him my undivided attention. So it was quite a feat. And the lies. I mean, there were so many lies. I was an idiot teenager, and I allowed him to know my social security number because I thought, hey, I'm not good enough, so I will be with this guy because he's settling on me. I didn't think highly of myself, and he knew that, so he took advantage of that. So I was an idiot and allowed him to learn my social security number, and he knew it all. He knew everything about me. He was able to look at my parents' mortgage. He was able to look at all of my personal stuff, and he would create credit cards in my name, and he would steal money and put it on my credit card. Like, just think of random bank accounts and kind of funnel that money. And then I ended up with that debt. But at the same time, when we were starting to date, he was like, well, I'm really rich. It doesn't look like that right now, but when my grandparents die, I'll be coming into money. And I'm like, I don't care about that. Money comes and goes. At that point, I didn't care about it. It's a much different situation now. But at that point, you know, I was just a poor kid just trying to live her life and get a job and just trying to discover myself because school wasn't for me. School still isn't for me, at least not in that strict learning environment. And he was just telling so many lies to me, to his parents, to his friends that we didn't know what was what. And he's always so jealous. This person, he would tell me how beautiful he thought girls were and how much he wanted to screw them just to see if he could get something out of me. I mean, that takes a lot of I don't even know what the word I'm looking for, but I'm sorry, a lot of nerve. It takes a lot of nerve to do that to your girlfriend. I mean, this is the person who you supposedly want to spend the rest of your life with, and you're comparing them to someone who's walking across the street. Oh, she's hot. She's way prettier than you. And that was my fault as well, because I allowed him to treat me that way. 11 years later, and I'm looking back and I'm like, wow, I was such an idiot. And I'm so happy that I know better now. I have a great life. I work really hard, and that's the best thing you can do as a survivor of a domestic abuse relationship is to survive and thrive and prosper because they don't want you to do that. They don't want you to have that. Or, I'm sorry, that person, whether it's your ex-boyfriend or your ex-friend who's just extremely obsessive. It's just a number of things, and it gets overwhelming because with the lying, they lie so much that you become a part of their lie. And I was really disappointed in myself for a very long time. I let someone else other than myself create my self-worth. So for a long time, if he didn't think I was worth it, I didn't think I was worth it, which is not the case because I'm the shit now. I am the shit. I don't care if you like me. I don't care if you do, but I know my shit. And that's what it's all about. It is all about making sure that you know what you're worth. Because at the end of the day, you only have yourself. And if you have a great group of people to be there with you every step of the way, that is amazing in itself. So, shout out to Gal, shout out to Christy, shout out to Lloyd, shout out to my amazing husband, Deshaun, shout out to Nikki. Nikki, you haven't been in my life for a very long time, but you have definitely become one of my bestest friends already. I mean, I can't imagine life without you. Couldn't imagine a better partner for my friend. And my husband, Deshaun, amazing man. We are going to move mountains. And that's all for tonight. Questions, comments, leave them below and I'll answer them back. And remember, you are worth it. Screw whoever thinks that you're not. Because at the end of the day, you have yourself. You won't have them. If you have a group of friends who you can depend on, that's amazing. That's one of God's greatest gifts. But don't ever let someone else decide your self-worth. Have a good night.